Hi guys, hello traders, welcome back to another weekly analysis video. This one is an interesting one because we got a new month, it's October 2023, and a new quarter at the same time. So we are going to be analyzing higher time frames, doing top down, and we will be taking our time to look at the markets a little bit more carefully because we've got new candles, higher time frame candles, and let's see where we go with that. So this is not often that we do this, not often that this happens because we obviously only got 4 times a year. We have a quarter. So this one will be perhaps a little bit different for you guys. So thank you for joining me. Let's begin. Welcome to Sunday. I've got the charts I have outlined for this week, the ones I'm looking at. So here they are. And I'm going to start with the calendar as always. Right, here we are, the first week of 1st of October. What do we have this week? On Monday, we have a little bit of news from the US, the PMI numbers, speech, and more minor news, another speech there. Tuesday, we have a big one on the Aussie, which will be the rate statement. From Switzerland, we have CPI numbers, and on the dollar, we have job openings. On Wednesday, we have New Zealand rates. So we've got both Aussie and New Zealand in 1 week. We've got a speech on the euro, ISM PMI numbers again on dollar, another speech on the euro on Wednesday. There's quite a few this week. Unemployment claims on Thursday. And then ending the week with CAD and dollar. And this is the NFP, of course. Right, that is the first week of the month, first week of the quarter, quite a busy one. There is quite a few bits of news here and you want to watch out for them. So we've got dollar, of course, with the NFP, we've got CAD, we've got New Zealand and Aussie and Euro. Quite a few here to watch for. All right, so do keep up with the news on a daily basis just to time your ideas and your scenarios. Okay, let's go back to the chart. Back to the chart now, and I have marked our biases here with the colors. Let's go through everything one by one. And as always, going to start with the dollar. Here we are on the monthly. Let's start with the quarterly. And as you can see, we have had a big candle, big pin bar engulfing of the 2 previous quarters. Let's look at the monthly. Monthly is bullish and the weekly is bullish as well. As you can see, we've had this huge run of many bullish weeks, not one bearish week. So the reason that that is important is because if we've not had even one retracement or one bearish week, then it makes it more likely the higher up we go that we will have some kind of retracement. So let's keep that in mind. We have reached our first target here. So let's get rid of that. Then we've got the next 2 targets up here. Now, of course, we're very clearly bullish and this is a new month. We can see the bullishness. And now the thing is that we're going to wait and see whether we are going to breach this invalidation point as we marked last week, or we're going to continue higher and break this structural high. First, we want to know which way the market is going to go. But as we are bullish, then we're going to stick to the bullish idea so far because that is what the market is showing for now. Okay, we go with what we see, not what we think. So just keep that in mind, keep that idea. We are bullish, however, we've not had a meaningful retracement just yet. And it will be good to have that before thinking about heading up again. As you can see, we've had this, if you want to draw your lines, a kind of a channel develop, if that's what you like to do. And it will be good to see a retracement. But again, you never know, the market can still go bullish and continue on its way. Okay, let's start with the currencies. And it's a similar thing on the euro, just the inverse. We've had this big engulfing bearish candle on the quarterly. On the monthly, we've had bearishness and then on the weekly as well, bearish. So where do we go from here? Well, we can see that here we've reached this target. The next one to the left is down here, just about the lows. The next one will be here, and then the next obvious ones would be down here. Okay, so these are our targets with the bearishness. That is assuming we don't have a retracement. Now, we don't know that yet. At the moment, we are very, very bearish. Let's have a quick look on the daily, and let's mark out some levels. So we got a level here. So there's a level there to watch for. Let's see if we have a reaction there. So that'll be the first scenario. And down into the next levels. And we're going to watch for this area, because if we have a break this area, then we would have to assume that we are then more likely going higher, and then we can look for next area, which is up here, and we'll see what happens then, and then we'll monitor that. Something like so, but let's say that is still a question mark. Obviously, if we get a break below here, then the next idea would be to look at this zone, or the next retracement, the next swing coming down into the next levels. But that's if we get this zone here. But so far, it's way too early to tell. Don't know anything for the moment. Let's see if we do get that retracement on the dollar and on the euro, and then we'll go from there. At the moment, the most obvious thing is this level up here, and then we're heading down. So we'll monitor. Let's see which one, if it does create any retracement, any price action. We want to see a real price action, a real reaction to confirm that that is the case. Okay, next one is dollar yen, one we've been watching for a while. With the bullishness of the dollar, we have reached these levels. The next level would be up here. Once again, we have, let's look on the quarterly, very bullish, monthly, very bullish, and weekly bullish. Okay, fairly clear to see. As you can see, we invalidated the idea last week, and it seems that we are now going to still head bullish. Now, if that's the case, what we want to see is we're going to look at this being now the invalidation. Then we want to see a break of the structure. And if we do get a break, then the next level would be here. And great to see a nice clean break. And once we break, pulling back either to this level, or we have this level, and then continuing higher. So now we are in a zone, and let's see whether we go higher. And if we invalidate, if we go below here, then it's invalidated. And if we break above this one, and then the next one, which is up here, next level, then that means we're looking at higher prices as expected on dollar yen, just like we are with the dollar index itself. So yeah, yen is very weak, dollar is strong, and that is definitely a firm continuation there to look at. You can see here we've had on the weekly a pullback on this candle, and then we're continuing higher. Very, very bullish indeed. All right, so those are our scenarios marked out. We shall see which one is confirmed, either this validation or the break higher. Okay, CAD yen, again, let's have a quick look once again on the higher time frame, starting with the monthly very bullish on the 3 month, I should say, the quarterly. You could see a bullish candle. Looking at the monthly, also a bullish candle, and looking at the weekly, we had this bearish candle. Now, don't let that fool you, because the momentum is to the upside, and because of that, still going to look for the next level, which would be up here at 112. but we have reached this significant high, and because of that, the bullishness is now in question, and we can expect a retracement now that we've reached these highs. So what do we do now? Well, we had this level marked out as a possible retracement area, which we now come back into. As you can see, we bounced off the 111 whole number. So this is not valid. This is not valid. We can get rid of that. We can get rid of this and this. Let's just clean things up. And now we're going to watch if we do actually have this reaction. And if we don't, and this level gets breached, then that will be an invalidation. And we're looking at lower prices on CAD yen, and then we'll have to shift to the weekly, and the next level down would be here. Okay, so that would be the next idea. Should we breach this level? Let's see if we get that turnaround or not. We have reached a significant whole number, so do want to be careful. This is when we really want to look at the higher time frame and see what is going on, because once we reach a higher time frame level, there's a lot of orders, market takes profit, market reverses, we have significant changes occurring. So really worthwhile to pay attention to what's really going on and look at the bigger picture. We're always talking about higher time frame is the king. And yeah, I'm not going to hold to this too strongly until we see some kind of reversal. Ideally, the daily swing would be best. And yeah, with this level being so near, not one of the higher probability ones, I would say. And yeah, we'll watch, regardless, we'll watch this and wait for the reaction. No rushing, especially with NFP week. Want to really take a time. Okay. Next, looking at Euro Pound. So we've been bullish on Euro Pound for quite a while. Here's the quarterly. Let's remove this for a second. You can see the quarterly is bullish there. Let's go to the monthly. Monthly is bullish and weekly is bullish as well. We've broken these structures. So now we have reached this first level. We've got the next levels to look for. We have this brief pullback candle on the weekly, and the next thing to watch for would be here on the daily. We looked at this as the invalidation point, which was indeed hit. And the next thing to watch for was the break and the pullback on this level, which we did have on the Friday. We had a very deep pullback, but nevertheless pullback, and now we are kind of stuck here. Now the next idea after this, if we're gonna reach for higher prices, would be a break this level. And the idea would be a break, getting a better price, and then continuing into these levels that we had marked out previously. 1 week ago, 2 weeks ago, I think 3 weeks ago, we really marked them out. So now we didn't break through this invalidation, and now it seems that we are holding this whole range, and we've made a new high here. As you can see, broke higher, new higher low, and it seems that higher prices are in order. But let's wait for that to actually come in and break through this high up here. All right, so we're going to want to see this swing being held, and if not, the next level down is down here. Yeah, looking at the monthly, you can see the monthly is bullish. So this is the possible swing, and don't be fooled by this candle. It looks like it's a retracement because we are overall bullish. Okay, that's the Euro Pound, and that's the lower time frame. Okay. If we do get stuck here and we get choppiness, then this may then turn out into being a range, and then we'll wait for lower prices. So then this is the idea for now once we break through, if we do, of course. Right, next one on the list is the Pound New Zealand, the one we've watched for. The quarterly is bearish, the monthly is bearish, the weekly is bearish, as you can see. So what did we have? Well, we had these targets earlier last week, which we have reached. This is the next target to look for. We wanted to see the higher prices. We didn't get that. We dropped lower, and now that we have dropped lower, what do we see? Well, the next idea would be this level, most logical point. And then the last swing becomes the invalidation. So the idea would be something like so, assuming that we do get a clear clear reversal. If we do, there's the 2.0 whole number here. So there's two places. One is the first target is here, which is not that far away. We do want to be careful and aware of that, excuse me, because seen as the target so near, we do really want to get the best price possible and then best risk to reward possible. And let's see if we have that happen and reach that low. Once we reach this target, then we will, all cards are off the table, and then we see what happens next. Yeah, we may be just about catching the end of this very, very, very long deep retracement, long trend for now. Let's see if we get that, so we can get rid of that. And yeah, let's see what happens this week. Remembering we have New Zealand news, we have Aussie news. It's a news week, a fairly heavy news week across multiple currencies, multiple countries. All right, next one I'm going to look at is Euro Aussie. So once again, 3 month. Let's start with the quarter. We got bullish, even though we left this week slightly bullish, and it's kind of indecisive in my book because of the lack of clarity with this long wick. Let's look on the monthly. What does the monthly say? The monthly is bearish. We're coming into a new month. Let's look at the weekly. The weekly is bearish as well. And here is the daily. So with the overall idea being bearish, then what I'll be looking at next is the next levels down to aim for. And these are the next, obviously here, here, and here. We've got bearishness. The weekly is bearish. So what do we look for next? Well, the next bearish idea, bearish scenario. The next bearish scenario is a level here that we can see, with the invalidation being the last swing. And I'm going to wait and see whether there is some kind of reversal. And once a reversal, you can look for next opportunities down, and we have these levels that as our targets. So again, we're kind of nearby really here, but if you get a good setup, a good idea here with a decent risk reward, then it's a fairly decent trade here. But that's just an idea here. I mean, make up your own mind. This is just my analysis. Please make your own decisions and manage your risk as always. And guys, if you like this video, click the like button and subscribe, receive the notifications. As always, I release these 3 times a week. Okay. That is the bearish idea on Euro Aussie to reach into these lows, as you can see. And yeah, we do have Aussie news as well. Euro speeches. Once again, Newsweek, watch out for that volatility. Do bear that in mind and manage your risk. And if you're not sure, then just stay out, do the safer thing, manage your capital. Okay, EuroCAD is the next one on the list. I'm just going to swiftly go through these because we do have a few charts and do have to look at the higher time frame as well. So if I'm going too quickly for you, if I'm speaking too quickly, pause, check it out with your charts, match it up, see whether it makes sense to you, and then continue. All right. Okay, 3 month quarterly chart. We have bearish candle here. Let's just remove this. As you can see, bearish. We have this swing created with last quarter as well. On the monthly, we've got bearish, closed below the previous months, closed bearish. So the idea is bearish. On the weekly, we are creating new lows, breaking these structures, and we did have a very big pin bar here. So we have got a brief reversal of these lows that we looked as targets. Now, how do we approach this? We are bearish on the higher time frame, but we have reached the targets, and we are now, looks like we are reversing. So here's the thing. If we've got a reversal, possible reversal here on the weekly, and on the daily we can see we've broken structures here to the left. So on the one hand we have broken structures, we've invalidated, and it seems that we are going high with this bullish momentum. However, on a higher time frame, much higher time frame, we are bearish. Therefore, any trade that we take which is to the buy side, any buy would be a short-lived, short-term idea, relatively speaking, because overall we're looking to come down into these lows. As you can see, we have this, if we draw this fib and measure this whole move, we can see that we've just hit the halfway level, and as you probably know, you've probably seen before, the sweet spot is really around the 61 ratio, and that is where I'll be looking for this market to move a little bit further down into these levels. So yeah, and also the high time frame indicates that too. So let's just get rid of all these previous markings, these previous markings, now that we don't need them. Let's start fresh. Yeah, let's start fresh. Let's see what we've got going on. So there was, again, a pin bar on the weekly. We've got bullish momentum coming back, and where would the bullish momentum keep going to? Well, it will be keep going into new highs. So the next high would be up here on the lower time frame, and up here. Right. Let's look on the 4 hour. We've broken this. We've now had a break of the structure, and the next level to look for would be here. So what we want to see is a better price, and then continuing into these next levels. So that would be the small idea, bearing in mind that we are in a bearish scenario. And then this low, which is the last previous low, would be the invalidation point. And that would be the idea. Once we get here, once we reach into these levels, then we will reassess. We'll go back to the weekly and see whether we have the continuation on this whole bigger bearish retracement, bearish trend, right? Because we have made a new low, we've broken through. For now, going to look at what it is for this week, and this is the idea for this week. All right, so just keeping in mind, really holding the idea, holding the higher time frame, holding the lower time frame, and just not getting confused about where you are in the market. Okay, this can get confusing sometimes for some people, so let's just if this helps you to break it down, if you have any questions, then put them below. But hopefully this clarifies a little bit of the way to approach it, which would be the flexible way, not holding too tightly to any one idea and being flexible with the market. Okay, the next one on the list is an unusual one for this week. We have New Zealand CAD. Now, why am I looking at New Zealand CAD? Well, we've had this big momentum move to the upside, engulfing 1, 2, 3 quarters. And now we had this retracement. So from there, as you can see, once all of this is retraced, we are now pulling back. We have pulled back. Here's this swing move deep into the retracement phase, deep into the cheap area. And now that we have gone into that, then let's look on the weekly, and you can see on the weekly we have had a swing. We have had this momentum, this slow kind of channel retracement down, and now possibly heading higher. This candle closed very bullish, took out multiple highs, and if I could just remove this for a second, we had this trend line being broken, if trend line is your thing, and now we are creating this new swing on the weekly. So with that idea, we have got bullishness, and a very juicy idea, because if this is the case, then from here to here is a very, very large trade. Now that is if we're correct. Now we're not going to assume that we are, but the next obvious highs would be up here, and these going into the next highs. And we'll see if that is the case. At the moment, it's just a theory. So let's go into the next ideas, into the low time frame, and see where we're at. Assuming that this is the low here, we've now moved higher, we've created a new low. So now what we're looking at is this being the next validation point. And what we want to see is a retracement to level. Next level is here. Some kind of retracement, and then heading higher. This will be the first. These will be the first targets up here, and then the next targets higher still. We'll see if this is indeed the swing and it holds, but such as what the market is showing us, we're going with what we see. So therefore, what we see is this very bullish momentum, bullish idea, and we're just going to see a retracement now, getting a bit of price and jumping on that possible end of the retracement, continuing on the bullish phase of the market. Okay, that's the New Zealand CAD for this week. Remembering again, New Zealand news, we have CAD news, so match that up and do watch for what's going on with the news events, especially on the busy week, especially on the new month, especially on the new quarter, because these are the times, these are the tricky times where the market makes slightly different moves, slightly trickier moves, and can trick many traders. Okay, and finally, I believe, yeah, the last one is the S&P, and S&P is again something we look for on bearishness on the quarter. We have a possible reversal pin bar candle on the monthly. We have this swing created, closed bearish below the low of last month, and then on the weekly we're also bearish. Okay, so now let's go to the daily. Here are levels we marked out. We are at the moment in this level. Now if this level holds and we go lower, this is what we looked at last week. We break lower below here, then then we'd want to see a retracement and heading down into the next levels. We can now delete these previous markings, and if we don't and we break higher, so if we break here, these are the two reference points, then what we're going to look for is a move higher and then some kind of reversal and then finally go lower. Be really good to either enter off this if we get a reversal, or even better off here, because this is the higher price and we get a really very big risk to reward trade, loads of points down from up here. The thing is, we don't know yet. We want to see how it happens, when it happens, if it happens, and then we'll make our decisions. So again, with the NFP week, it may be a little bit too early to tell, and we'll see what happens when it happens. Then we'll make a decision. So it may be that you want to be set aside, especially with NFP week, and then make a decision. We want to see really clear and clean price action before entering our scenarios. And yeah, let's wait for it to play out. At the moment, it's not very clear, not very obvious to see. We have had a reaction off this level, and now we'll see. Let's see if that holds. At the moment, it's not very clear. We don't have a. We did have a reaction, but no clear reversal price action here on these three candles. Yeah, we could be stuck in this range as well, here, like so, and that's why I'm waiting for a break of either levels to show us the intended direction, or what the market wants to do, and then make a decision from there. Okay, so that is the S&P, and finally we're back to the dollar. Let's see what happens, remembering that it's a new month and a new quarter. All right, guys, thank you for watching, and I will see you on Tuesday once again. Okay, bye for now.